This episode is recorded Tuesday evening, so it's not yet 100% confirmed by the English FA that Thomas Tuchel will be their new national team coach. But still, I've been a big fan of Thomas Tuchel for many, many years. I think I followed him for 10 years now when I worked in Germany, and he started off in the limelight, so to say, when he took over Mainz, when they had just been promoted, and my former teammate Jörn Andersen from the national team was the promotion coach, and then he was fired just week before the league started, the Bundesliga, and that was the start of Thomas Tuchel's career. And over many stations, I have followed him, and I've always been impressed by him. I've always seen this fire, this energy, that enthusiasm he has for the game. And sometimes he has been criticized for that early in his career, getting a lot of fines from the local football associations because of his behavior. But it's funny as well to think back at the time. It was Ralf Rangnick, who is now the Austrian national team coach, who gave him the chance in Stuttgart, because Thomas Tuchel had to retire because of an injury quite early. I think he was 25. And then later he got to Augsburg. He was the coach of the second team of Augsburg. In that team was a German national team coach, Julian Nagelsmann. So they meet each other all the time, and it's also worth mentioning that Thomas Tuchel, I'm not saying that he'd been in the shadow of Jürgen Klopp, but he was at Mainz, where Klopp used to be. He was in Dortmund, where he used to be, and so on and so on. So this has been a part of the story of Thomas Tuchel. When he was the coach at Dortmund, there was a big incident. I don't know if you remember, back in 2017, there was a bomb attack at the bus of Borussia Dortmund. I was there. I remember I was in the catacombs in the players' tunnel, and we were told the terrible news that something had happened to the bus, and we tried to find out what was going on. That was terrifying, and Dortmund had to, and I said had to, play the next day, and Thomas Tuchel was much against that, and they're saying that was the start of his trouble in Dortmund. Although he won the German FA Cup, he was then fired, or he left the club after that. You're winning 4-0 against Benfica. It's a magic night for Dortmund. You come into the dressing room, and you know that this is a boring game. We heard you screaming. Tell us what's happening in the dressing room.
Hey, we were freaking out because...
you had a telly on.
Sorry?
You had a television on.
The telly on. It was like, I thought it's 4-1 when I left the pitch here. I came to my office, it was 5-1. I mean, I love Barcelona. No offense to Paris. I love Paris Saint-Germain as well. But I was watching it, everybody was staring, and we could feel it, and we were just excited because we were 4-0 and we had the win, so everybody was celebrating, and suddenly you could feel it coming, and the ball was coming, and it was a goal, and it was no offside, and we thought, okay, we thought we were spectacular, but these guys, sorry.
Thank you, boring Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel has always been, he doesn't have the biggest lobby in Germany because he's very opinionated. He loves to be clear on his message. But like I said at the beginning, I've always had a good relationship to him. I've interviewed him many, many times, and he's always been friendly. He's always been talking from his heart about his career, about his performances, but also very honest about his performances. I also liked him when he was at PSG. I think that he was the first one who managed to make that star ensemble into a football team. And I remember one interview in Paris after the Champions League game when he explained that the word that he put on the team feeling, and that was quite hard because in every position he had world stars and he managed to do that. He won the Champions League, of course, with Chelsea Football Club, but the year before he was in the Champions League final with PSG for the first time ever in a Champions League final when they lost 1-0 to Bayern Munich. A funny story, I think, or just tell me how he's like. It was when Chelsea played Manchester City the night before. They were all training. Pep came out. It was very intense training. It was very down to tactics, and And you can see there was a lot of going on with, I'm not saying they were nervous, but they were very, very concentrated. Klopp on this day, the day before the game against Manchester City, was very calm. He was very relaxed. I was standing with some colleagues from Sky Germany, two friends of mine there, and he came over to us and had a conversation during training. He was very relaxed. He talked us through the team. He thought what he thinking, considered to do. I remember he said, "It's not only that I have to know who's going to play. I also have to think who can come from the bench and make a decisive decision or influence on the game." And he didn't have the best record against Pep Guardiola. No trainers or managers have that, but still. I remember what he said at the end of this session, or our conversation there, where he was so calm. The whole media from all over the world was standing watching us. What we talked to the coach during training, and he said, "I'm 100% sure that we're going to win tomorrow." And I saw that on the training session. They were so relaxed. They was just looking forward to this game, Chelsea Football Club. And remember, Kai Havertz got their winner. And then it was at Bayern. That was not a match made in heaven, because there are so many strong personalities. Thomas Tuchel is a strong personality as well. He won the German Bundesliga, but you must say that Dortmund gave it away when they couldn't manage to win the last home game against Mainz, remember, back in those days. Why do I think that he is a perfect coach for England? And I said that from day one. Straight when he resigned Gareth Southgate, I said Thomas Tuchel should be the one. I think that, yes, there is a discussion. Should it be an Englishman coaching England? Should it be a Norwegian coach in Norway, and so on? But I think that as it stands now, England got to go for the man that they can get. And Eddie Howe, not available, I guess. He got this project at Newcastle. Graham Potter, I don't think he have the international experience enough to do that. And talking about project, you remember, I'm against using the word project for a national team. A national team, it's all about winning the next game. That's all that matters. Get yourself qualified. That's a consequence of winning the next game. This talking about a project, development, and all those kind of things. Okay, fair enough, talk about it, but more like in a club level, I think. And for a national team, it's all about winning. I think that he will, by his skills, by his strength, is these knockout stages. There is one game. You have to win this game. That is one of the strengths of Thomas Tuchel. So I think England will get himself a great national coach. He can cope with the stars. He is also a coach that will need to make some decisions, because sometimes you try to get all the star players in the team, but maybe, or you have to sacrifice someone. You can try things out, but sometimes you have to sacrifice players, especially in midfield in England, when you see how they are doing that. I made myself some notes before this episode, just to remind me of all the clubs that he's been. They say he is a difficult character. I don't find him as difficult. I think he has developed. I think he understands the game. He knows that the game is a tough game. His demands are clear. And I think that he's also at a stage in his life now that it's natural to take a national team. Remember, 2 years' time, we're going to have the World Cup in Mexico, USA and Canada. It's going to be a fantastic World Cup. It's also a fantastic generation of England talents that he has for him now. So I think that was too tempting for him. I was told at the weekend that this week he will sign for England. I had to have some negotiation with my sources how to could I present it, and he said wait, because it's not many people who know, and blah 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 blah, as you do with sources. So yesterday, being Monday morning, I said that I thought that Thomas Tuchel will sign for England this week, and now England got the manager. Is it German? I think that he fits well into the England camp, the English players. I think they will have the respect for him, and this is one of the best coaches around. and is the best coach available anyway. He is a proven winner. He has won the Champions League final. He has been in the final with PSG. He is won by Dortmund, won in Bayern. So I can just congratulate England for a good signing.